Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. It is Car Stereo Talk, the Facebook edition. How exciting is that? This show is brought to you by Audio Control. Make sure you head over to audiocontrol.com. We have a wonderful show lined up for you tonight, which reminds me, I need to get fundamentals queued up. So I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Checking in, everyone. Let's get some shout outs. Fernando, could you take care of that
Chicago,
for
what's
me?
going on? Chicago is in the house. Northern Maine. Nice, Tony. Miguel is watching. What's up from Arizona? Northern Arizona.
Johnny. What's up, Johnny?
From Arizona.
Yeah, this car is actually from Arizona.
Yeah.
First Snapchat, now Instagram problems. Was there
I
Snapchat
know.
problems today? I know we haven't. I mean, I don't either. But yeah, Instagram. If you guys didn't catch
I
the
have
Instagram-
an account, but I don't use it, so it doesn't
I
matter.
don't have an account. If by the weekend you mean Sunday, yes, it was good. Yeah, trust me, Johnny. We just say it out of pure, because we know.
Exactly.
We know. It's like we just. How's your day off?
No,
Wonderful.
nobody. How's your weekend?
San Diego, Bakersfield.
Nice.
Good evening, Paul.
What's up? Hey, Bobby.
Northwest Florida in the house. Greetings from San Diego. But yeah, so did you have a good day off?
Northern Florida in the house. Yes, I have a good day off.
You had to structure that one really
Yeah, I was thinking. I was like, that was a good day off.
I mean, I spent most of my day doing, work for the show. So.
I spent, a few hours on the playground, so that was good. Watching kids. Oh my God! If you watch the kids, they don't pay attention at all. They just running around.
Oh yeah, they don't care. They don't have
care.
a problem in the world.
Nothing.
Massachusetts in the house. Question about CarPlay background. There is no CarPlay background options available to you other than what Apple sees fit. So you have black, you have white, and you have those 2 or 3 colored screens that they have. You can't have anything else other than that on the back of CarPlay.
Oscar's in the house.
Hola.
What's up, man?
Want to bring my brand of offer decent price 3-way if Focal is my bet. Check out Morel. Morel has their. Do you know which ones those are? Is it? I always get them confused. Is it the Maximus or the Ultras?
The 3-ways,
Yeah.
the Maximus.
Check out the Morel Maximus. If you're comparing like access, check out the Morel Maximus if you're looking for something in the other direction. They're both exceptional, both very nice, both very loud. St. Paul, Minnesota.
Hey, Tony.
Saludos, Fernandos.
2020.
How long does it take you to tune a somewhat complex system? It depends on what a somewhat complex system is. Believe it or not, some of the bigger systems are actually easier to tune than the smaller systems. So, but typically tuning could be anywhere between an hour to 3 hours. It's not anything we rush. It's kind of we either have it right at the beginning of the day or right at the end of the day, preferably right at the beginning of the day. And we just kind of work our way through it. There's more to tuning a car than just setting up the RTA. We have a whole structured list of things that we go through, starting with the simple thing like checking balance and fader. Then we move on to polarity testing, make sure that we turn off all speakers individually one by one and make sure they all do what they're supposed to do, even if we've done balance and fader. Make sure that the tweeter is playing tweeter, the mid-range is playing mid-range, so that make sure whatever channels we have in the DSP are going to what they're supposed to be going for. So there's a whole pre-checklist before we actually get to the tuning part of it. But then once you get into the tuning part of it, if you've done a really good pre-checklist, it does make the tune a lot easier. The other thing we'll do too is we'll do what we call, just like when you pre-tune an amplifier, I mean you turn the gain down, you set the crossover to 80 hertz if you're going to use it. A lot of times we'll do that work in the DSP before we get to the tuning part. So before we start playing pink noise and all that, sometimes I'll just sit in the car, which you've seen it in other videos where I'll just sit in there and I'll start typing in information, get a lot of that front end side of things. Like if it's a DSP where I can label the channels, I'll label the channels. If we already measured for time alignment, I'll put that in. I'll put in whatever pre-crossover points need to be in. So there's like a whole, it's just not like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So we try to kind of work our way through it. 3-way Morel, Maximo, Ultras. Yes, that's them. But you didn't.
There you go. Thank you, Steven.
It's the Maxim, not Memo.
No, I think, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Maximo.
it's okay. It was an autocorrect on the phone.
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
Maximo Ultra 3-way. Awesome set. Have you ever done an install in a Toyota Matrix? I mean, maybe not in a while. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like a Pontiac Vibe. I think that those were like the same cars.
All right. Somebody say, how can you stream HD music through an audio controlled D6-1200?
Two options come to mind right off the top of my head. It's a D6-1200. So hang on, because ideally.
You can grab the one that they have.
But that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're looking for HD, so that's
Yeah.
App X.
Yes.
So that'll do that. But here's the three. So grab your thing. Let's start that up. We're gonna try something new today. We found a new app that we're gonna see how this works.
How it works, yeah.
So it's always fun and exciting. All right, let's go to camera 2. All right, so on the D6-1200, it has an input for the expansion port, which is the AC-BT24. This would plug into the side of the amplifier. What you do is this comes over, I believe, well, it'll tell you which ones it comes over, but you'd make like preset 2, and you'd switch your input configuration around to those channels. So I believe it's 5 and 6 might be, but I honestly don't remember on the 6-1200. But 2 of the channels are what this is going to broadcast over. So you go to like preset 2, and you would set up all those channels to do front, rear, sub. So it's 2 parts. So this and that. Now, if you're going to be using a non-radio application, and you just want to stream
from your
Bluetooth
phone
into any amplifier, we basically have 2 right here. You have the AMAS 96K from Moscone. This is a pretty expensive, pretty sophisticated Bluetooth adapter. It has a Toshlink output along with RCAs. This is definitely if you're trying to do high-res, over-the-air style Bluetooth.
94.
And then Audio Control makes this piece here, which is essentially this, but in a standalone unit, to where you have an RC output, power and ground, auto pairing, and fun stuff like that. And this, of course, supports aptX. So it's the same Bluetooth that's in this as in this. And these are just RC outputs. So what these would do on that amp is they would plug in, and that would be your streaming. Now, you could still kind of do it with these. Like if you didn't want to use this for whatever reason, you could still make your preset, let's say preset 2. If you plugged one of these into, let's say, RCA's 5 and 6, be the same basic idea as this. And then you couldn't, let's say you weren't going to do front, rear, and sub. If you're just going to do front and rear, you could plug this in 5 and 6. When you have it set up on preset 1, you're not using 5 and 6 for everything. When you switch to preset 2, you're only going to be using 5 and 6 to feed all those outputs. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Jacob, no,
let me know.
We don't read all the Facebook because there's a lot, not even.
Oh, it just took me 5 minutes to answer one of the most questions.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
so if you have any questions,
we try to get as many of them.
Try to do it here.
All right, here we go. Hey, well, yeah, because if you're texting me Facebook stuff, you're never going to get an answer. Because I can't even get done like what I have to get done just to do this show.
All right, I have a
Massachusetts. What's up? Go ahead.
All right, where can I get a new microphone for my Kicker Key 1800.4?
1800.4?
Yeah, I mean the Kicker Key.
Oh, I would just call Kicker. I would just call Kicker. There is 2 departments you can get a hold of. One of them is tech support, and one is customer service. Just call the customer service line. I'm pretty sure they could probably take care of you and sell you another one of those. If you could find a Kicker dealer in your area, more than likely they have some that they would be glad to sell you, because if you know, every one of them comes with one, and you know they probably have a couple laying around. Follow up the current question. What about USB Dragonfly to aux? Yeah. So if all right, there again, it all has to do with the input setup on the amplifier. And if you were going to do a Dragonfly to aux adapter, you'd have to go aux to RCA. And once you did the RCA into the amplifier, hold on. Trying to find the software here. Do I have it? Oh, there it is, DMC. All right, hold on. Hang on, let me, give me one second here. If you got a quick one, go ahead. Yeah. I'm gonna put this over to, all right, here we go. Wow, that looks huge. Why did it do that? All right, hold on, let me shrink this down.
Alright, hey Miguel, thank to you guys. I was able to make my car sound system sound amazing. I was in the Paso with the Camaro who got sadly say rip off. I'm sorry. The army recently transferred me to Pennsylvania, so I'm getting close to you. Visit you guys, and thanks for everything in person. Hey man, thank you for watching and thank you for the support.
Alright, so I'm going to head over to the laptop here real quick. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to show you this on the audio control, but a lot of this, depending on the DSP software or DSP you're using, you have different inputs. Laptop, here we go. So this is the, even though it says DM810, this is actually for the 612. When you run in demo mode, they all say DM810. You just come down and click as what you want it to be. Say yes, it'll change, and it basically stays the same. But when you come to output settings here, output are what is going to feed. So on my inputs, I have inputs 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. There's also 7 and 8 on the 61200. 2 of those are going to be line level, meaning for the multi-channel line level input. So you really only have 6 RCA inputs. So if you were using 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you're not using, let's say, a subwoofer output or something like that, then you have 5 and 6 available to you. If you go to output view, and so 1 and 2 would be, let's say 1 and 2 is front tweeters, 3 and 4 is front mid, 5 and 6 is going to be rear, which would be 3 and 4, and then line out could be a combination of both. Now for preset, so press and hold to save that. No, continue. So press and hold. So it doesn't give me the warning. It says yes, overwrite. So that's preset 1. Go to preset 2. Now preset 2, if you had the Dragonfly with an aux jack and then a Y jack that went off to a set of RCAs, you could plug those into 5 and 6. And now 5 and 6, when you go to output setting for preset 2, is going to feed all of your inputs, as well as your line output is going to be 5 and 6. Now your EQ, your crossover points, those all are going to stay the same. They are not going to change. And that's it. What you do to make sure that your crossover and your preset, your crossover and your time alignment and all that stay the same is when you're in preset 1 and you say yeah, okay. So when you're in preset 1, you go and hold preset 2. I mean, like the arrow, and this is yes, override preset 2. And what that will do is that'll make a clone of preset 1 onto preset 2. Now you go in and you change, see, like, so now preset 2 has those, so we say 5 and 6, come here, 5 and 6, turn that off. And now whatever we're feeding into 5 and 6 is just going to go, and so when we switch between the two, we'll press and hold to store it. Yes, boom. All right, so there you go. So there's preset 2, same EQ curve, same time correction, same crossover, preset 1, factory radio, aftermarket radio, whatever you got going on.
Hey Bob.
What's up, Bobby? So
all right, I have this one for you. What are my options for a 2018 Jeep Cherokee? Uconnect stereo replacement, 8.4 screen. So if you go to the idatamaestro.com and type the model number of your car, all the information, I just went and do that for you, just because, why not? And I just grabbed this beautiful screen, Kenwood radio. They have these options for you. RR, the T-harness, and the dash kit right here. So
any radio you want to put in that's RR compatible seems to be the ticket.
Yep.
Awesome. What's up, guys? Sounds like Dean's counting out dance steps. 1, 2, 3, 3. Yeah, okay. Need tweeter harness for 20 Blazer. Don't want to cut wire harness. Metro doesn't make one. Is there anyone else? Not in the big brand names. That's going to be something like you might be able to find somebody in a forum that kind of found something, but right off the top of my head, no.
What's up, Ben?
We don't stress out about that. Now, okay, so the other option you could do, if you're like, I don't want to cut it, you could military splice into it, which is also another option. Basically, you're going to tee into the wire by, you strip the shielding back, you poke through, you wrap it around, drop a little solder if you want. You don't have to, as long as it's nice and tight. So it's like threading the needle, and then you put some tape over it, and you re-insulate the wire. That'd be one way to do it. If you're just looking to like, I don't want to do nothing, I got nothing.
All right. What's up, Jason?
Do you think posi twist connectors? I hate the posi twist connectors, but those would work.
They what?
The posi twist connectors. Those are the new connectors that like go in and you twist the little thing, and essentially it's what we're doing with our military splice. I'm not a fan of those. They work, and there's nothing wrong with them. Me personally, it's not you, it's me. Yeah. Have you guys done a 2021 Kia? No. K5. Yes. We did a K5. I don't know if it was a 2021.
Somebody say if we done Stinger, the new
haven't done the
Stinger one. No, we haven't.
I don't remember. Do you remember the K5?
The 500?
No, the K5. That was that weird K5 that we did.
Blue one. Yes.
Yeah.
We did. We actually put Morels.
What did we do?
We put Morels all the way around.
Yeah.
And I think a kicker key.
Did we go behind the radio?
I think so.
Yeah, we went behind the radio on that one. Yeah. Got a 5-channel amp running, 6.5 front component, 6.5 coaxials, and a sub soldered in RCAs before factory amp. Looking for DSP. Any suggestions? Well, yes. If for what you're trying to do, you have a DM608. You have the DSP Mini from Helix. So basically, you're looking for something with 6 in, at least 6 out. If you're an Alpine fan, Alpine makes the PXE. There's a Moscone piece, but any one of those, if you're going to be doing it yourself, Audio Control obviously is one of the easiest softwares out there to use. They're all easy to use once you wrap your head around them. Let's just go with that. It's just a matter of wrapping your head around it. And I need to shut off this software because it's going to kill my battery.
Yep. All right. You got any insight on the 2015 Jaguar?
Nope. Not off the top of my head.
That's Oscar. With the Meridian system. I'm about to do one.
Time and tools will get you right everything you need, right? That's just basically what it comes down to. That's how I look at it. Hey, from Houston. My car is a GTI 2000. The rear speakers are Polk, front are factory. What is the best speaker I can get for the front? Well, okay, when it comes to replacing speakers, you kind of want to match. Meaning, if you have Polks up front, I would recommend going with, if you have Polks in the rear, I'd recommend going with Polks up front, just so they sound very similar to one another. It's called timbre or timbre, depending on what nerd group you're in, but it's basically just so that the acoustics all kind of match and play the same. You don't want to like have something in the back that has like a metal tweeter and is really loud, and then you put a silk tweeter up front and it's not, and the rear. So if you have, I would just go with another set of Polks. That to me makes the most sense.
Those Morel tweeters you show on the Instagram, can you create a 3D sound field with them?
A 3D sound field? I mean, it's just a really exquisite tweeter. And for those of you that didn't see, why don't you grab them real quick and we'll talk about it. So the car we're working on off to the side here is a Civic, and it's going with a set of the Morel Piccolos, which is the Supremo tweeter, which is this guy right here. Really nice. Instagram's doing dumb stuff today, so we went on to Instagram, but you aren't going to be able to see it because it didn't save. But this, all right. I'm just going to set this here, and then you can zoom in all you want on it. If you want a $1,000 tweeter, then this is calling your name. Now, he has some fisheye pods that these mount in. He's got 2 in the front, 2 in the back. This is an extra set he had.
Take the grill off?
I'm going to try, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because I don't have any There
There
you
you go, beautiful.
So big, beautiful silk soft dome tweeter, and as you can see, hold it right there. As you can see, it rises up out of the abyss, gives you lots of off-axis listening capability with that guy. So a sexy tweeter for no doubt.
Beautiful.
Very similar tweeter to this is the new Elate tweeter. Is built off of the same Piccolo style design. So if you don't want the Piccolo price, but you'd like the Piccolo performance, check out the new Elate tweeters. Those are just as sexy too. But yeah, it's just depressing how people treat, not this customer, how people have done this guy dirty, which just breaks my heart. But don't worry, we'll take care of it. Hopefully tomorrow Instagram will be functioning properly and we can go back on to Instagram and show you what we got going in this car. Because it's a lot of fun.
Poke it with your finger. That would be not fun.
Yeah, that hurt a lot. Here you go. Thank you so much. Alright, so this brings us to 20 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
This is the time where we are going to do what we like to call a little thing called fundamentals. For those of you that aren't familiar with fundamentals, fundamentals is where we talk to you about a car audio topic. Tonight's topic is RTA. So do me a favor, just kind of hold your questions for the next couple minutes. This one is going to be a short one. Maybe, maybe not. Who cares? Tonight's topic is... Let me hit this. Go here. Press play. And we will go to the laptop. Tonight's topic is RTAs. What are they and what do they do? Oh, goody. Moving on. Slide number 2. RTA stands for Real-Time Analyzer. It is a professional audio device that measures and displays the frequency spectrums of an audio signal. I like the Aurora Borealis in the background. That's why I picked that, because I thought that was very ethereal.
Nobody has seen one of those.
Yeah, I know. There are 2 types of measurements that we use an RTA for. Audio signal, which is sound, and electrical signal, which is still sound, but there are 2 different ways that we do this. And what we're looking off to the side there is an original audio control SA3052. One of my all-time favorite, wish I had and finally got. I'm just throwing that in there because this is the standard. This was the gold standard of RTAs forever, and there's still a lot of shops that use these in order to tune cars. Audio signal. For this type of measurement, you have to use a microphone. It will measure the sound around it and display it on the screen. Play pink noise for this measurement. This is how you set up a car. So when this is what you do. You mount the microphone somewhere in a location, you play the pink noise, and it will then read that and display it on there so you can get a curve. When you play the pink noise, it's going to give you a representation of its plain flat sound. It's not actually flat, it's got a slope to it, but it's designed to look flat on the RTA. What you're looking at what you're looking at with the hand, that's a PAA2 by Phonics, no longer exists. It has been replaced by the PAA3X, and of course we're just looking at some software here that you can get. I just wanted something to show a microphone. This is something you can plug into a laptop. Pretty cool. You can do that. The second type is electrical signal. Now this is the more fun. For this type of measurement, well, let's just turn that off for now. For this type of measurement, you have to connect to a speaker wire or some form of an output. You're looking at the actual signal coming into a device. You're not doing it over the air. This is looking at the voltage. It will measure the electrical signal and display it on the screen. One of the more fun RTAs that has a lot of features built into it is the Minimalizer ML1 from NTI. That there in the middle, the NTI XL2 is probably the most expensive handheld RTA you can buy. I do not have one of those, if you're wondering. So I do have the Minimalizer. And of course, our favorite, the DMRTA Pro Kit that has all the bells and whistles in it. Not all RTAs are capable of doing both measurements. This is important. Not all RTAs can do electrical and audio signals. Those first ones we saw, the handheld ones will do both, but the one on the laptop is only designed to do acoustical. Back to the laptop. RTAs that do both types of measurements are typically very costly, as we find. Like the basic DM RTA runs you about $700. Those handhelds, like that NTI, that's like $2,500. Microphone types, those are going to run you anywhere between $150 to $200. Some of those are like the iTest mic, the U-Test mic, the UMI-1. That's the Audio Frog, and then Dayton makes the IMM6 microphone add-on for your smartphone, and the EMM6, which is the microphone add-on to your laptop. Both, meaning a device that has both, were what we showed you throughout the thing: the PAA3X, the DMRTA, the NTI-ML1, the NTI XL2, and the SA3052. If you can find somebody that's willing to part with one of those, good luck. And that is an RTA. It is a tool of the trade. It is something to aspire to if you do not have one. It's something that you have to have one, period, if you want to do like anything audio related. A lot of people that, it's like, I have a digital multimeter, I have a DD1, I have this. When you've graduated, you have an RTA.
Okay, so you think from when you start, what was the tool to have? A multimeter?
Yeah, I mean, for back then, you just had a multimeter.
Now it's like you have to have an RTA.
I don't know how you could do stuff right now accurately without some form of an RTA. Any chance you could do a video DSP tuning with REW? I'm not an REW user. I'm sure it would only take us a couple minutes to figure it out once we got there. By a couple minutes, I mean like an hour or two.
I'm pretty sure like Andy has some.
Yeah, I know, but I mean people would like to just see how it works. There are certain guys that use it exclusively. It's kind of like one of those things when you get in a camp, you just kind of run with it. And for what we do, the DMRTA works great. But and there again, the REW software is made for acoustic measurement, not electrical measurement. The handhelds, the electrical measurement, believe it or not, is the hardest one and the most expensive one, and is the most important one. Acoustic measurements are great. You could do it with your phone. Jeff was talking like, I didn't have one and I used my phone. Oh, Brian was telling me how he used his phone to tune a car because it got him close enough. So there's a lot you can do acoustically, but not knowing what you're feeding the device is where you run into the problem. So, all right, that's it. Hey, before we go any further, something to keep in mind. Friday, this Friday coming up, that's Friday the 6th at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, we're going to have German Maestro in the house. That's right, we'll be able to talk to them, find out all about how German Maestro used to be MB Courts.
Who is who?
Who's who, what's what, and what's going on. We're going to have them in here talking with them. I'm really excited. It ought to be a good time.
It's going to be good, yeah.
Are you guys using a oscilloscope to adjust gains, or are you just using the DD1S? DD1s. Mainly just the DD1. Oscilloscope,
Yeah, but like most of the time you have the DSP.
Yeah. But I mean, if we're going to use it, we're just going to use the DD1 because it's just quicker. Yeah. I mean, we have 4 oscilloscopes.
Yeah.
And one of them is a big ass oscilloscope. It's a big full 7-inch display screen. Super sexy for doing 4 channels for doing all kinds of stuff.
It is good.
So I mean, it's just for what we're doing. It's setting gains, something as simple as that. If the amplifier doesn't have it built in, because a lot of the amplifiers we use strategically have that in there, so that one less step. So I'm kind of really excited about that.
6.5 components, metal tweeter.
$1,000 price range.
$1,000?
What say you? Well, I mean, metal tweeters. I mean, really, what you're talking about is a hard dome tweeter. I'd still look at the flax. It's not a metal tweeter. It's a flax tweeter. It's a hard dome tweeter. But I mean, that's really what you're looking at is a hard dome. How much is the
K2s?
The what?
The K2s.
K2s? If you're just looking at a 6.5, yeah, it's about that. Well, it's like $1,200.
I mean, it's $200, man. But you're gonna get a nice
K2s, yeah.
Nice
I mean, if
set
you
of
want a
K2s.
metal tweeter,
Yeah.
you don't have to spend $1,000. I can tell you right now, if you want metal tweeter, you like metal tweeter, Rockford T2 components, man. They're reasonable as all get out, and those things will make your ears bleed.
Yep.
And all that metal sound. Also, you can check out German Maestro. German Maestro has all metal tweeters with their speakers, so definitely want to check those out as well. Those would be on the higher end side, more expensive. So if like you're a metal guy, German Maestro is for you, for sure, because that's what they do, bro.
They
Stick with Morel, so much smoother sounding. And there again, you know, to each his own. It's you know, hard dome, soft dome. I mean, it's all a dome, and it's how, you know, whatever. What 5-channel amp should I get to pair with my Kenwood head unit? Well, if you're a Kenwood fanboy, Kenwood makes two great 5-channel amplifiers in the 802.5 and the 901.5. The 901.5, of course, is a little bit more money, a little bit bigger amplifier. If you're looking, you know, if you want to keep it all in the family. Otherwise, there are plenty of awesome 5-channel amplifiers out there. I don't know what you're going to power. One of my personal favorites, of course, is the Audio Control D5 1300. Has a DSP built into it, but don't be afraid to look at that Kenwood amplifier. They're super exciting.
Yeah, definitely. The 9. Hey, Octavio.
We are a one-base shop. You're looking at it. This is it. Everything that you see is here. This is it. This is all we got. It's just Fernando and I working on cars, and
that's it.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's not ours. We work here. We're not. This isn't my store. This isn't his store. Somebody else's store. We just work here. We have this channel because, well, hey, it's after hours and we can do whatever we want when we're off the clock.
Yeah. And this is fun, right?
Pretty much when we're on the clock, we can do whatever we want too. But that's a whole nother story, guys. A whole nother story. Moving on.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you got for me? Yo, what's up, fellas? What happens when you poke it? Does it tell you the quality?
Can't tell you. You just gotta
don't poke it. Yeah, it tells you the quality, all right. There's no doubt about it. What's up, man? How's it going? See, it's times like this where those guys are just dying to have questions answered. Just like
exactly.
Does Paul ever get mad because you two are taking too long? No. Paul doesn't. No. I mean, we never take too long on anything. I mean, the one thing is you know, we know how to move through a car. I mean, what we can do in the time frame we have a car, a lot of shops will take a much longer time and do a lot worse job. We know this because most of the time, like, we'll get a car like this and the guy will tell us how long they had it for and how bad of a job they did, and we're just like, so they had it for longer, they had more time, and they still suck? Ugh, it's just frustrating.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if you answered this one, but hi guys from San Antonio, Texas. I have a question. To the NE15 Sierra with the Bose system, can I run the pack GM51 navigation radio unlock interface with the pack AP4 GM61 at the same time?
Yes. Technically, yes. However, they're going to tell you yes, but I would call them because there's an order in which you should plug them in. That's the one thing I can...
So it's a sequence?
Yeah, so like this one should be first, this one should be second. So I would call their tech support and just be like, hey, I'm going to do this. Which one should be plugged into what side of the car first? Anytime you're doing that with those smart modules, it just makes... just to be safe, because sometimes you run into sequence issues and stuff like that. Because anytime you have more than one thing on the bus, you know, the bus might not pick you up, but the bus usually picks you up.
Yeah.
Anyways, in a key 201 and okay, in a key 200.1 and a CX 400.1. Why do we? Okay, I'm thinking about the 200.4.
Yes.
Sony head unit. Use RCA lines out, or Kicker recommends speaker lines for BET SQ. What do you think? So, the reason why they say that is because it's stupid. I'm just going to call it that. I hate that they recommend that. I get why they do it. I don't like it. The reason for it is that your factory deck amplifier is going to distort way faster than your preamp section. They're talking about doing it like that because you get more voltage into it, blah, blah, blah. Basically what it means is now you have between 0 and 24 instead of 0 and 40 for your volume control. I don't care for it. I don't recommend doing it. I never do it. If it's got RCAs, I'm using the RCA so I can have full control of the volume and not just like, oh, don't turn it past 28 because it's going to clip. And it will clip. It's an IC power chip. And I understand that the RC outputs coming out a lot of these cheaper head units, yours isn't one of them, is like basically a high level to low level adapter built into the radio that's lowered the output voltage. So they're like, just run it up. But the problem with saying that is, and we've tested this, is that when you look at a distortion coming out of the factory amplifier, it's distorting really fast. Like, you don't get a full, you can't turn it up all the way. Which we know this because like if you hook them up to a set of speakers, it starts to distort and like it's like, oh my God, stop. So now you're gonna feed that into an amplifier. It's gonna do the same thing, oh my God, stop. Whereas if you just use the preamp, you get full control. Now, if you're one of those guys who's like, no, I only like to play my volume up to 24, fine, go ahead, do it. It's cool. Whatever works for you. Just never turn it past that because you're going to have clipping. Look at it on an oscilloscope, a DD1, whatever you want. But that factory amplifier and that radio is going to clip way faster than the RCAs. And there again, there's a gain control on the amplifier to match that. I don't know what sound quality they're worried about because, dude, it's a 75 watt by 4 amplifier with an EQ and a DSP built into it that's this big.
Yeah.
It sounds great, but let's be honest. It's not like the gold standard of Class D amplifiers. It sounds awesome. I have 4 of them. I own 4 of them. So, I mean, I love the amp. We install it. It's my favorite amplifier. But you know, let's really think about what we're doing here. Okay, sorry. My bad. It's one of those hot button topics.
What can I use to
from Finland. Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, what's up? Yes, I was about to say Finland. And yes, I do wear hats.
You do?
Yeah.
I hope so. I ordered you one.
Yeah. Dude, that's what, like,
yeah,
we're going to have some hats, new hats. Nice. What can I use to be able to disconnect the aftermarket speaker wires into a factory door connector? Disconnect the after speakers. I don't get the question. What can I use to be able to disconnect the aftermarket speaker wires into a factory door connector?
You mean maybe they're trying to repin into the door connector?
Okay.
Or drill, trying to get wiring in through a door boot.
Okay.
Which is just literally one of the suckiest, hardest things ever to do in some of these newer cars. We don't have magic for that, man. There is no awesome magic. We've had the easiest like this. We had the Honda Civic right here. It was easy enough to run new wires into it. Honda Accord, super sexy, awesome
Almost
cars.
easy. Yeah.
Okay, it was easier than running into an
F-150.
Yeah,
totally than the older cars.
In an F-150, you're literally sitting there and you're like, I don't want to do this. Like in my Camaro, there was no open spots whatsoever. Trying to run speaker wire into that was one of the hardest things ever. I mean, it was like 18 gauge through the hole. And the reason why I needed to do it was so I could go active on the tweeter. It wasn't like I was trying to put bigger speaker wire
So
there.
in my car, like you have, I think I have like 4 or 6 spots open. So we just drill it, make a big hole, and I ran 2 wires in there.
The thing I can tell you is that if you're just trying to run bigger speaker wire into the door, it's a fool's errand. The only time you really want to deal with it, if it's that hard, is if you're trying to do an active system where a passive system exists. Other than that, just use the wiring that's there, grab it in the kick panel, 12 inches of, if it's 18 or 22, it's okay. It's okay. You don't need 16 gauge going to it. You're not running 500 watts to your mid-range. It's not, literally, it's not going to matter. It's overdone.
All right, this is good. Do you ever worry about the future of the aftermarket audio business due to the old features car manufacturers pack into the OEM head units, like climate control, TPS, info, and all the car information?
So those things actually don't... I don't worry about those because, like, we know we can retain those. iData, that's their specialty, is that putting all that data into the aftermarket radio, that's the easy part. Where I get concerned more is in the electrical system, where, you know, they've done things that's like, oh, the car is now drawing more amperage. I'm going to shut down because I think there's a problem with the car. Or with fake engine noise. Or there's just like a full electrical system that doesn't even have it has a 12-volt tap somewhere that it's like, it's a 30-amp tap coming off of the 58-volt battery or 10,000-volt battery. You know, those are the things that kind of concern me more. And what really sucks is it's like, yes, it's a profession that we have, and it's what we do, and, you know, we'll figure out ways around it. But the fact that they're trying to limit our freedom of expression is really what pisses me off more. Because, I mean, honestly, let's be honest. Our car is the ultimate freedom of expression for a guy. The reason why you guys are all here is because you like cars. You like cars with sound. And when a manufacturer is just like, no, man, you know, like Tesla, those are all cool cars. But they continuously update the thing and screw stuff up. It's like, oh,
so it's
my
like you
God.
buy the car, you pay for it.
Yeah, leave it alone.
But they still have control of that car.
Yeah, I don't like that. To me, that's the stuff that keeps me up at night. Knowing that, let's say I put something into a car, and
the next day, it's not going to work.
Next day, it doesn't work because they decided to do an update on the car. And we know this has happened because, like, we were listening to a friend of ours tell us about a radar detector story where it was like they were tapping into something, and all of a sudden they changed the way that wire works. Huh? So, you know, now you got services you have to do because they decided to change something because someone probably said, hey, you know, we could do this. Okay. You know, I don't like that. To me, those are the things that keep me up at night. And they really don't. But those are the things that concern me. Nothing keeps me up at night other than work. So, no, we haven't done any Brax amps yet to answer that question.
That would be cool, man.
So that I can take the door off without cutting wires. If you're just trying to take a door off without cutting wires, there should be a Molex plug. Every door has a Molex plug.
So, for example, in this Honda, it has the rubber booth. It's not a Molex plug. You have to go
inside the car
and literally like go through it. They take the whole harness out, unplug it. And
for service works, every door in every car has a clip somewhere to have it come off. They have to, because otherwise, think about it, body shop guys aren't gonna, you know, like, oh, I'll just solder it all back together. No, God no. But yeah, you know, like we had a 2019 or 2024 Explorer. We had to run wire for the boot. We literally just took the doors off the car. It was way easier. Yeah. But yes. Yeah. I didn't even keep you up at night, just slightly.
Just try. Just take your time. Take your time because you're gonna spend a little time in there.
No, Paul isn't into weapons and ammo. Yeah, no, he's got all he needs. We do have a gun store literally right next door to us. Yeah, it's like so 5-star gun store. It's like if you Google
hey,
us,
Chuck,
you see that.
We need some help.
Yeah, Deer Hunter guns right there. Thanks for answering my question. No problem. Yeah, I just want to add something serviceable for aftermarket wires. Yeah, I know. It sucks. Yeah. I agree.
Thoughts on Morel Integra 424 4-inch passive and or active. So what would you go? 4-inch. You know those 4-inch. That was
those one were the hybrids.
The nicest.
Those were the hybrids.
Was the hybrids.
Yeah, those are the hybrids we did. Yeah. Those were insane 4-inch. But those are like the craziest priced 4-inch. You know, it's like buying a set of Illusion 4-inch. I mean, they were totally worth it.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is if you can go active, go active. 100%. Anytime you have the ability to go active, you might as well do it. If you don't, you don't. It's just what it comes down to. I mean, trust me, if we could do every system we installed full active, we probably would. But sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Okay, so I mean, you know, if I got a coaxial or a components, I mean, I guess, yes, I would just always love to do active.
Dean, how do you feel about the JL VXI amplifiers?
I like them. What I don't like about them, because there's always something, no matter who makes the amplifiers, there's always something that sucks. And to me, their plug sucks. That giant printer cable thing that they have coming off of it is a nightmare. I hate an amplifier manufacturer, and Rockford does the same thing. So we'll play fair. I hate when you put a plug on something and it's got 10,000 RCAs and all of them are the same length.
Yeah.
Like, could you stagger them? Like, how hard would that be? Like, come on. Like, Alpine on their radios that has a pigtail hanging off for the RCAs, it's like sub, front, rear, and they're all different lengths. And there's a reason for that. But if you have, especially on a VXI like the 8-channel, you got 10 RCAs that are all the same length. It's like, what am I going to do with this bundle of RCAs? I mean, there's no way to make that pretty at all. I know, like, we did a VXI and a Porsche, and I literally fanned them out and hit them because I couldn't take it. Morel Integra 4's Illusion coaxials. Ooh. Well, I mean, it's a 4-inch though. So I got to tell you right now, that Morel hybrid 4-inch system, I'm taking that. Those things are awesome. We've done those in a couple cars. We did a Supra. We did that in old school Supra, and then we did a like a work van. And ooh, man, oh my God.
Okay, this is another one. All right, considering a 3-way set, what's better, Morel Maximo 603 or the Morel Tempo 602 and adding the 2.5? All right, if that's me, I would go with the Tempo 602 and adding the 2.5.
Only if you're going to go active.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going active, no, don't.
Okay.
Because what you're going to run into a problem is you're not going to have a channel for that for the 2.5. And the 2.5 is just going to play all the way up and screw with the tweeter. So it has to be a full active system. If you're not going full active, then don't. Just stick with the 3-way set. Keep your 3-way passive crossover and rock on. It'll sound better. They're totally different speakers. Like, those 2.5s look identical. We've literally held both of them here in our hands. I'm like, God, and they sound totally different. So, don't confuse the two.
All right. Hey, guys, quick question. I'm doing a D6 1200 to run the doors with the 4-ohm components. What single sub should I do? A 2-ohm double coil or a 4-ohm double coil? Sorry, I'm new here.
What ohm load are we trying to get to?
I mean, the D6 1200 has to be a dual
2.
2
yeah,
ohm.
So we need a 4-ohm load. So we want to get a D6 12. If we got a D6 1200 and we're trying to do, you want a dual 2 because you're going to run dual it 2 in series, meaning you're going to do positive on one side, negative on the other, and then jump across the back.
Do you have some?
Yeah, keep talking for a minute.
All right. Oh. I have he's replying to Josh. Thanks for the advice you given me in the past year. System sounds great, better than if I did it on my own. Okay. As soon as I can get next to the level DSP, worry about the tuning, but all right, cool. Tony, he got it. 2010 G37 sedan with
hold that thought for 1 second. Okay. So for the new guy here, let me show you something real quick. If you were here for the whole show, you caught the little section we did called Fundamentals. If you go over to Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips on YouTube, which is our second channel, and you look right here on, if you go to the playlist section and you go to the Fundamentals playlist, you just click on it. All right, that'll load up, and we won't listen to the commercial here. But if you go through this, scroll through this list here on the side of all the videos that we have in the Fundamentals playlist, hold on. You'll find that we have a lot of really cool basic videos that will answer a lot of those questions for you. There is one that is just on subwoofer wiring.
Click in the channel.
I'm on the channel.
No, I know, but like just in the name so they can see it. Perfect.
I was just there.
Right there.
Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo.
So check there. You will find the answer in there.
So it's like, yeah, so here's load resistors, polarity, parallel and series. Boom, right there. So the parallel and series.
Time for Fundamentals of car audio.
Yeah, we've all heard that voice.
Who's that guy?
But if we scroll through, we talk all about it. As you can see here, we give examples, and then as you, right here, dual. So all the questions you have answered, boom, head over there, check it out.
Subscribe so you can find more,
Oh yeah, before we go, you know what we forgot to do? Hold on one second. I don't want to deny this person the joy of...
Yes.
So for those of you guys who don't know, we do a Facebook page called the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club. If you're not a member of the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club, for one, why? And two, go join. If you do awesome wiring, such as Oscar that's in the chat here, he's been, I don't know, 2 or 3 times he's been featured on there because he does sexy wiring. And yes, great minds think alike, Oscar. If we head over here to the laptop, this week we have a beautiful, like, half classic, half new, we got the DQ-DX going in here, so that's like the audio control analog DSP. So that has a 6-band EQ for front, rear, a 5-band for sub. Might be a 6-band for sub also. Acubase, as well as a basic time alignment circuit built into it that will add delay to the front speaker, so you can align your front speaker and your subwoofer. It's a really cool device. If you don't want to go full DSP, like you don't want to do laptop and stuff like that, the DQ-TX or the DQ-61, if you're going to high level, are awesome pieces to check out. But now we got some classic, what I call the waffle iron style Rockford Fosgate amplifiers in there. Flex Loom. I mean, this is like, if it wasn't for that DQ-DX, this would be like something you'd have seen back in the 90s, 2000s, whenever those amps came out.
Well, you have the battery, you have the big capacitor in the back,
hybrid stiffening capacitor.
Everything is fused.
I can't tell you how many of those I put in.
Nice. And this
install
is by Peter Sanchez. He actually did a really nice job. He's been done a few of them, so check them out.
Yeah, nice job,
really
Peter.
Nice.
So if you'd like to have your picture, just do awesome wiring. And tip. Pro tip. Towards the end of the week. Like if you're going to post a picture that you think is awesome.
Don't say nothing.
Towards the end of the week. Okay. just saying. Don't put them up on Monday. Save them for the end of the week. All right. But
no,
if you just,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I still go the whole week and go through
I'm just saying,
and everything. So
if you did an awesome install, he's just going to see that and be like, damn.
Oh, dude.
Because you're automatically on his brain.
So that was this guy that they did some
also
like a car or something like that, right? And it's gauges in a car or something. That was
awesome.
Crazy, really nice. Yeah.
What do you guys recommend on 2 JLTW310s, down firing or firing on sealed box, a double cab Tundra? I mean, down firing. I would do down firing. Sealed box, yeah. I mean, if you have room for ported, awesome. But make sure you have room. Like, if it's light on airspace, just stick with sealed. Those things sound great sealed. There's no reason to not let them ride out sealed. But I would do down firing. Just make sure you have enough room underneath them so they can breathe. Go ahead.
All right. What do you recommend for a Jeep JK looking for quality of sound, not just loud? Thank you for your time.
The JK...
Yeah.
I mean, anytime we have a Jeep in, we kind of try... We have 2 systems that we do a lot of JKs. Actually 3 now, because we found a new favorite.
Yep.
And there again, it depends on price point. The most popular one that we've done in the past, which is just more for loud, which is probably not what you're talking about, would be doing the Rockford T2 components. They're loud, they're obnoxious, it's kind of Jeepy. What we've found since we started looking at the new Maximus set of 602 Mark IIs, they're about the same price in that Rockford price point, but it's a silk tweeter and it's equally as loud, it just sounds better. So we've been doing a lot of those now in the Jeeps because, it's kind of like the best of both worlds. We have this, and we have the, and then for the guys that just are like, I have a pretty big budget, the most popular system we've been doing in those is the Focal Flax. The reason why we do the Focal Flax is, for one, we still need loud, but we also need, really good sound quality.
Yeah.
So the Flax have definitely kind of been the most popular in Jeep speakers. The thing you have to keep in mind for a Jeep is where do you put the amplifiers. For Jeeps, we typically look at the Rockford Mini Ts and or something that has a small footprint. that is waterproof if you're going to be doing the bikini top or non-hard top stuff. So because there isn't a lot of room, we don't typically put the subwoofers in that back area because you smash the wires to put it back there. So that's not a place I like to put them. Okay.
All right. I have a 2004 Chevy Avalanche with the Bose system. Looking for a 5-channel amplifier. Pioneer DMH WT76NEX head unit, focal axis 165, focal auditors 165 in the rears. I would love to power the stock subwoofer and cram the amplifier in the factory location. Can I buy it from you and ship it to Maryland?
As far as buying the product from us, of course you can reach out to Paul. He'd be more than happy to ship you whatever you want. As far as a small amplifier to power what you're looking at 5-channel wise, that's going to fit where the factory amplifier goes up underneath the seat. There's actually a decent amount of room up underneath there. I would look at, if you're only going to be powering that factory sub, you don't need a ton of power. You could probably get away with the Kenwood 802.5. That would be plenty of power for auditors, as factory subwoofer, or eventually switching out the factory subwoofer for either a better 8-inch in the rear deck or possibly something in an enclosure in the back, and then powering those front access in the So I would look at the 802.5.
Okay,
that'd be fine. Okay,
sounds good.
Soccer rules. Tough game for the women's national team this morning.
All right, this one.
They just have not been on point.
We stop in this one.
Okay, go ahead.
2010 G37 sedan with Bose. Is that a rear preamp, a true rear signal, or a processed signal?
What year is it?
It's a 2010. Processed front signal. How do you get a true rear output from the audio control D61200?
I don't know why they're calling it rear. I mean, are we just talking about? That's a weird question. I don't know if we're misreading it. So if it's a Bose system in a 2010, I still feel like that's variable voltage on the G37, which it would have front and rear output that goes into the Bose amp. So you'd just be using a set of RCAs and going into it. There again, I don't think I don't want to just kind of, if we're just looking at rear fill, what do you mean? I mean, do you just want rear speakers to play full range in the back?
I mean, you have a D61200.
Well, I mean, he typed rear fill, so I mean,
right.
I mean, so okay. Do you mean like an effect rear fill, meaning like just a so all the sound up front and rear fill? If that's the case, that's done through time alignment. There's and crossover. So that's how if you don't need like full range back there. If you want full range, there again, that's just done through time alignment and crossover. Yes, variable. So if it's variable, it should be a front and rear out of the radio, and then you would just grab both.
Yeah.
If it's just front out of the radio and it's variable, then you're out of luck.
Yeah.
Then that's too bad, so sad. Sorry. Which sometimes that is the case. That is why, like this amplifier here, this 6.6 is just 2 channels of input, because most factory amplified systems are just 2 channels of output that go off to the amplifier, and then the amplifier does digital fading. So most people don't adjust the fader to the rear or to the front. They just set it up and get it all working. Like when we tune a car, we assume that the rears are going to stay fixed at the volume they're at, and we tune it accordingly. I don't know of very many people that go back in and do balance and fader after the car is tuned. So,
yeah,
but hey,
exactly. Why not?
As we constantly find out, we're always amazed what people do. 2020, can you use the signal from the rear doors for powered subwoofer? Want fader control? I mean, you're still going to have fader control if you grab the front speaker, but more than likely what's going to happen is if you grab the rear speaker, it's going to be actively crossed over at a higher frequency than the front speaker. So you're not going to get deep, luscious bass out of that unless you do something like a key lock that has the ability to go in there and, you know, add in de-equalization and try to flatten it back out for you.
Hey, Eduardo.
No. Looking forward to seeing you guys in a few weeks. Oh, no doubt, right?
Yes.
I hope life is going well, Marty.
That's right.
I'm sure we'll have
All
fun
right,
time to talk. Have a great evening, gents. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You too, Fro.
Yeah, and give me the maestro,
The what?
the German maestro.
Oh,
So
yeah.
don't forget.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So don't forget on this
Hold on.
Friday.
Hold on, let me just pull it up here.
Oh, perfect.
Yep, I'm working on it.
It's gonna
All
start,
right,
man.
so there we
you
go. Wow, I can't believe it's been an hour.
Exactly. This Friday at 6:30, we're gonna have the guys from German Maestro to tell all about
Everything. We're just going to have him here.
Everything.
We're going to talk to him for an hour.
Yeah.
It's going to be on YouTube, so make sure to tune in. It's obviously a preempted show, meaning we're not going to take a bunch of questions or fun stuff like that. We're all just going to sit back and learn and ask. We have some questions we're going to ask them.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll all learn some cool stuff. Don't worry, we're still going to have a show Saturday. I know people freak out. Oh, no, we're going to have a show Saturday. So this is a bonus show. They're here. They're going to come in. We're going to talk to them. We have to find out all the cool stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. So make sure you guys tune in. And before that...
All right, so hang on.
What?
If you guys going to Dallas, Spanish people,
Spanish
we're gonna
people?
have I mean it's gonna be in Spanish.
Yes, I know. It's okay.
You're still gonna go, but anyway.
I will.
After hours audio control en español. So Saturday, August 28 in Dallas, we're gonna have a class. That's it.
No, that's all good. For those of you that are interested in buying cool tools like RTAs or fun stuff like that, check out dnftooldrawer.com. That's dnftooldrawer.com. If you scroll down, we have all kinds of links available to you to find cool tools that we use. And then, if you want to wear cool shirts and swag and fun stuff like that say 5-star to support the show and do things, if you head over to dnfswag.com, you can find a bunch of cool shirts, sweaters, jackets, hoodies, whatever you want. The newest shirt is the new Brian Mitchell shirt that we have. Brian Mitchell, of course, is the boss. He's the coolest guy ever. So it's Brian Mitchell mode. Screw 1 through 10, break that knob off, and go straight to Brian mode. If you're a fan of Frenchies, he's also a Frenchie lover too. So he's got his little pooch, which we put on the back of the shirt to make it look all kinds of cool. That's it. That's all we got for you. Let's head over here. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
See you guys tomorrow. 5 minutes with 5-star. Hopefully it works.
Yeah, we'll see. You guys have a great night as always. We'll see you later next time.
Bye.
Bye.